Hey, Snackers, this is Kareem Iskander.
Hey everyone, Matt DiNapoli here.
Welcome to episode 205 of Snack Minute.
We are joined this week by our good friend Joe Kearns. He's been with us before, although I think it's been a while. He comes by way of Ireland, so if you are thrown by his accent, it's because he's Irish. Joe works with our Sandbox team on the DevNet side here. But Joe, I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us what you do for the Sandbox team, and then we'll jump right into it.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, and thanks, Kareem. So yeah, Joe Kearns, based in the west of Ireland, in the rainy west of Ireland. I've been working on the Sandbox team now for the last maybe 10 years or so, reporting to Mike Mackay, and basically I'm a technical leader on the team. I've got a couple of reports reporting to me, concentrating mainly on networking, security compliance, and as well as building out the labs as well. So it's only a 5-person team, so we're kind of expected to get our hands dirty on a lot of things.
Small but mighty.
Yeah, small but mighty. So it's extremely busy, especially when you run your own data center. You're expected to basically just roll up your sleeves and get done whatever needs to be done. So yeah,
I can imagine.
Me.
So you're here to talk to us about a Sandbox update and what you've got going on in your world?
Yeah. I it's a busy time of year. We're coming up to Cisco Live. So there's a lot of kind of Sandbox requests that have come in the last while, a lot of support for workshops and theater sessions at Cisco Live. So I guess some of the updates we have at the moment is some of the newer sandboxes coming online is RADKit. So we would have worked with the RADKit BU. Those guys set up VPN-less access into back-end data center stuff, and Cisco TAC use them all the time. So they wanted a lab that they could give access to potential customers. Customers could come in and test out the RADKit service, make sure it works for them, and then they would go ahead with a potential sale. So I guess we've been working with them for the last about 6 to 8 weeks before the break. We're nearly there. We're going to release that kind of a beta version on Monday next, and a few partners are going to come in and test it out. So very complex sandbox, a lot of automation going on. We have CML involved as well, a kind of a back-end networking that people can get access to via RADKit. So there's a lot going on with that lab.
So would you mind taking just maybe a minute or two and explaining what RADKit is and how that could be beneficial for our audience?
You read my mind, Matt.
Sure, yeah. So basically it's a service that Cisco provide that if you ring into TAC and you have a problem with your back-end router or switch, but it's behind a firewall, it's in your data center somewhere, you can set up a RADKit client on your laptop that on the TAC laptop, basically, that provides access into the back-end service, into the routers and switches in the data center. You will have to have a RADKit server in the data center as well. But once it's in there, TAC can get kind of instant access into your kit to do some troubleshooting. So it makes things an awful lot easier.
What are some automation use cases so it makes sense to me from a customer standpoint that we would have these kind of, this is not AI related, but an agentic situation where we have a RADKit server in the data center that's monitoring this stuff and then allowing TAC to tap into that. Can you help me understand from the customer's use case, potentially what the automation activity would be around that?
I guess the automation activity, there's a lot of setup to the service. So
okay.
So initially, and the sandbox does the good thing about the sandbox is that it does all of this for the user during launch. So if you were to do this manually, you would have to install the service. You have to bootstrap the service. You have to generate a one-time password that's connected to your email. That then goes back to the RADKit cloud service where you register. And then you have to, once you've registered, you actually onboard the actual equipment in the back end, the IP addresses, usernames, and passwords. So the good thing about the sandbox is that everything is done for you. We automate all that. I worked with a couple of guys really good guys in the RADKit team. And you have the whole service set up in about 20, 30 minutes. So it just provides users hassle-free access into the service. And it works the same way as it would in production.
That's great. And just a clarifying point, by the time of this episode is aired, the sandbox will probably be ready for the subselective customers that get access to it. Are there plans to open this up yet, just Joe, for other?
Yeah, there's no plans yet, Kareem, and it's usually down to the BU to decide that. So they would come. We would love to open it up. To be honest with you, we would love to give people access to it. But the BU have said for the time being that only potential customers get access to it. It makes things a little bit more awkward, I guess, where we have to give people access into certain spaces, stuff like that. It would be more beneficial to us if it was widely open, but hopefully in the future it will be.
Well, we'll have to lobby for that, Joe. I think that's probably a really good idea for our customers. Cool. Well, okay, so we covered RADKit. I know we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole with that, but would you mind giving us a little other insight to some things you're working on?
You both know Eddie.
Yep.
I'm not sure if Eddie has been on here before, but Eddie is working on a Catalyst Center Global Manager, and that's for the DevNet Studios. He's been doing that. Eddie's also been knee-deep, I guess, up to his waist, I guess, more so in Nutanix. So we're going to be moving a lot of our virtualization over to Nutanix. So Eddie's been working on that. You've had Alison on here before. Alison is working on a Splunk integration with Catalyst Center with our DA Adrian. So that's going to be, it's nearly there as well. We're just trying to get that out the door. And there's a number of other things as well. We have Cat 8K and Cat 9K sandbox upgrades going on. We have IoT secure equipment access lab, which has been updated. That's actually in our backlog. Trying to get the collaboration labs back online. I think you know about that, Matt.
Yeah.
Not getting a lot of traction on that right now. Hopefully we can dig in and see what we can do. Go ahead.
For our old snackers who want to have access to UCCM and UCCX and all that stuff. We're looking at trying to bring back the old band on those kinds of things. What's exciting about some of the things that you mentioned, always needed on the iOS XE version upgrades and things like that. So that's exciting for a lot of the automation activities that people are at the device level are dealing with, especially with how they're interacting with those devices at NetConf and RESTConf. The CCGM one, this is an interesting one that I would really have our snackers check out. Especially there's going to be there's a lab that goes along with it. For those of you in the know that are understanding that Catalyst Center is a controller that sits on top of enterprise networking, iOS XE devices, that B is actually putting out a controller on top of a controller, let's call it. And so it oversees multiple, two or more Catalyst Centers. And so they have the ability to, there's some, I will call it rudimentary API access for that. And the lab that you will see actually provides access to those APIs and shows you how to build a dashboard with it. So that was an interesting evolution of Catalyst Center for that specific product, because once you hit the controller level, we're like, you should be able to leverage APIs and do all of that. But there's been a need to actually manage multiple Catalyst Centers, and that's what the CCGM Sandbox.
And what is that called? Is that so-called Catalyst Center controller?
It's Cisco. It's the Catalyst Center Global Manager. So that's CCGM.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and those are coming from our good friends in enterprise networking, the people that bring you Meraki and Catalyst Center. They're all kind of working together on that.
So is that cloud-based, Matt? Or Joe? I'd love to just learn a little bit more.
I think,
Joe, it's that.
Yeah, Eddie tells me nothing. I'll just say
it's It's an on-premises.
It's an on-prem solution. Yeah, it's just one VM, and that's a project that came in only a couple of weeks ago, maybe even
right before Christmas. I asked for it, Joe.
yeah. So we got that out the door pretty fast.
We're staying on the cutting edge of things. We work very closely with the product teams and try and get those sandboxes out ASAP as if they make sense to the audience. And I know you guys over at Cisco, you still leverage our sandboxes for things. And
I mean, who doesn't? Anybody that you talk to, whether they're doing automation or they're just trying to get their hands on technology, the DevNet Sandbox is a great resource, even for folks that are studying. Right now, we just ran a workshop for our NetAcad instructors on AI and automation, and some of the technology involved in there are leveraged from the DevNet Sandbox. So it's just a great resource to have, and all your hard work, Joe and team, it shows for us and our community. So thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate the partnership with you guys, especially around CML. That makes Joe's and Eddie's and Mike and Allison's job just a little slightly easier.
I have to pitch Joe Clark's CML MCP server that we just released. You might want to look into it for some of the automation stuff that you're doing behind the scenes, Joe. It might save you a lot of work. It's a great server and really well written.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. We know Joe very well over here. He's a great guy.
He's a good guy.
And Quinn Snyder, just to another kind of collaboration between the two groups. Quinn is actually using our labs for NSO in Cisco Live. So we're spinning up a lot of labs for Quinn.
I apologize for this collaboration with Quinn.
Not at all. Quinn is a great guy.
He's due for another visit on this show, isn't he, Chris?
Yeah, we'll need to call out to Quinn. We need to bring him and his ducks.
I know that there are some actually really interesting things coming on the horizon for the Sandbox team that I think will make a splash. We'll wet the beaks of our snackers for right now, and just leave some intrigue there, because we don't want to overcommit to it yet. But there's some really good foundational things that will improve our experience with the Sandbox environment. And then there's some other stuff coming that's going to couple some of our DevNet labs a little more tightly with the Sandbox environment as well. So those things are coming. And we'll either have Joe or Mike or Allison on next time to start to talk about that stuff too. So snackers, stay tuned. We're gonna have the Sandbox team on here more to celebrate all the cool things that they're doing and help your education and learning going forward as well. So Joe, I realized while we were talking that you actually haven't been on the show before. I mentioned at the beginning you were a returning guest, but you're not. You're a first-time guest.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to add a left field here. First-time guests get the question, and the question is, what superpower would you choose to have and why?
God, superpower I would choose to have and why? I can't. Okay, a weird one. I'd go back to Ben Affleck in Justice League. I'd like to be rich.
So just be able to print money?
Yeah, print money, have my own cave, Bat cave, stuff like that. I'd like to be Batman more.
Okay. That noted. I get it.
He's the coolest. He's DC all the way. I've had enough of these.
Ben Affleck is not the coolest Batman.
He's not the no. Well, I actually saw, what was it? I saw Michael Keaton came back, and he's still the coolest Batman, I have to say.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed. Us like kids of the 80s and 90s. I loved our Michael Keaton Batman.
There you go.
All right. Well, then I'll let you snackers go. Thank you again so much, Joe. Kareem, always good to see you. Snackers, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.